for another day, all day, no days off. So, my boy Charger for the Charger fans out there, the boy Darren James, he signs a new contract, 3-year deal, figure extension with the Los Angeles Chargers, worth 75,600,000 dollars, 57, I think 57.7 guaranteed, fully guaranteed, and he's averaging 25,200,000 annual. Darren James is a very rich man, richest safety in NFL history, biggest contract in NFL history. I think he's just a couple million over Cal Hamilton, I believe, and it's well deserved for Darren James. I mean, nobody says anything. Nobody has anything bad to say about Darren James since day one. Since day one, Darren James came into the NFL. I remember when he got drafted, and I didn't really know too much about him when he came out of Florida State. But when we drafted him, I just felt the aura through the screen when I saw him get drafted. I was like, "Yo, Darren James gonna be a dog." I did my research on him, and I remember when I remember a some NFL executive or coach, somebody, they came out and they was just said that Darren James reminded them of Sean Taylor. This is when he first got drafted. So if you're a safety and somebody says you remind them of Sean Taylor, I don't know you what else needs to be said. Like there is no bigger compliment as a NFL safety who's just getting drafted, being compared to the great Sean Taylor. I mean, those of you who just started watching football who don't know too much about Sean Taylor, without a doubt, in my opinion, if he would have stayed, if he never would have got killed, I believe Sean Taylor would have been the greatest safety to have ever lived. Yes, over Ed Reed. Yes, over Troy Polamalu. Sean Taylor was that guy. He was that good. But that's just my opinion. And Sean Taylor, unfortunately, he only played in the league for 4 years. His life was cut short. His football career was cut short over some stupid crap. But to be compared to Sean Taylor, man, that's John Taylor. You mean Sean Taylor, big dog? Come on, we can't disrespect Sean Taylor's and it's calling him John Taylor. But anyway, yeah, thank you for giving that respect to Sean Taylor. I mean, there should be a movie made about this guy, man. But you're good. My bad. You're good. I'm probably typo. But anyway, there should be a freaking movie made like. There should be a movie made about him. I'm a writer anyway. I'll probably write a movie about Sean Taylor, man, because he was just too great. I think he's too forgettable sometimes because he was only playing in the league for 4 years, man. I remember I first started watching football when I was 14 years old. I was in high school. I think I was in high school. Yeah, high school when he got killed. It was so sad, man, because it it it's always sucks. What about I'll get to Josh Allen a little bit later. If you want me to talk about Josh Allen, I'll talk about Josh Allen a little later. But we talking about Darren James right now because Darren James. The reason I'm talking about Sean Taylor because I'm just reminiscing when Darren James got drafted, and I was just remembering like I was just doing research on him because I didn't know too much about him when he came out of Florida State University, and and I think it was an executive that came out and it was just like Darren James reminds him of Sean Taylor. He was like he could be the next Sean Taylor, and I'm just saying like when you're a safety coming out of college and somebody's comparing you to Sean Taylor, there's no other bigger compliment that you can get. But hey, man. So, congrats to Darren James. Super happy for him. I am. I mean, I've been a Darren James fan, like I said, ever since he's been drafted, and he deserves. I mean, here's the thing, man. When Jim Harbaugh says when he first decided to coach for the Chargers, which was 2 years ago, and he's like, he knew Darren James was a great player, but when he's around him, he feels the aura, the energy. Every single time when somebody talks about Darren James, they always talk about energy. Energy this, energy that. Like the energy that he has. And they're like, this guy's energy is so effective that the Chargers going to win a game just off Darren James' energy. You got to keep players alive. You got to keep players around. I'm talking about Darren James right now. You got to keep guys around like that on your team. Every single team in the NFL could use a player like Darren James. Every single player in the NFL. Every single team in the NFL. That's just what you want. You want tone setters, energy. You know what I'm saying? Especially on freaking defense, especially on defense. Because a guy with that type of aura, that type of energy, it makes your defense like 10 times better than what it already is. And you can see that when Darren James is not on the field, when he's not playing, if he's hurt or missing a game, you can see how the defense is not as violent and aggressive and fast as it is. That is literally what Darren James is. He's fast, he's violent, he's aggressive, and that's the type of safety that you want. And he could play anywhere. He could play nickelback. He could play nickel linebacker. He could play. He's not only a safety. He could play almost every single position on the football field. That is how versatile and how dangerous and how much of a weapon Darren James is. He is the tip of the spear. He is a freaking lion, man amongst boys when he's on that field. And it's unfortunate that he really doesn't get to play how he really should be playing because the NFL has gotten a lot soft lately. But Derrick James is kind of like the last of the dying breed type of defensive players. My favorite football team is the Los Angeles Chargers. That's why I'm talking about Derrick James right now, and that's why I'm giving this update on what the Chargers is doing. But Derrick James is like kind of like the last of the dying breed of hard hitting, violent football players. Derrick James, I would say the guy who plays for the Texans, sort of. I like how he plays. Very violent player. I forget his name. Shakir. I like those headhunters, man. That's what Darren James is. He's a freaking headhunter, and he had to change the way he plays because the NFL kept finding him. But it's just that the NFL is not that Darren James is a how can you say a dirty player. It's just that the NFL is just too soft for a player like Darren James, and that says a lot for about Darren James. But yeah, I was watching his press conference while I was in traffic on my way back home, and it was just inspiring, man. Because you get excited for guys like that, man, when they get rewarded. Because he hasn't been hurt lately. I think he got hurt one time, and that was early on in his career. And ever since then, man, he just never looked back. And this guy's been through what, four or five defensive coordinators. So you see what I'm saying? And so I'm happy, man. And the Chargers fan base is very fortunate to have a guy like Darren James on their squad, man, on that defense. And I'm looking forward to seeing what Chris O'Leary. I think his name is Chris O'Leary, our defensive coordinator. Looking forward to see how Darren James is going to look in his defensive front, in his defensive backfield. I mean, because I honestly think Chris is going to be a better defensive coordinator than Jesse Minter. I honestly believe that. So, and then we got some guys, man. We got guys on that defensive side, and I mean we got guys on the offensive side too. It's gonna be a very exciting year for the Los Angeles Chargers. I mean, our team looks really good. I mean, I can't remember the last time how good and organized and structured our team has looked since the Marty Schottenheimer days. So, I mean, if you're not a Chargers fan, man, they better be on your radar. Because they may not make it to the Super Bowl. I already got them going to the Super Bowl, meeting the Rams. But they definitely going to do some damage. They definitely going to win a couple playoff games. And speaking of that, Justin Herbert, he makes a return in OTAs today. I think, today he came. So, Herbert's back in the lineup. And is this going to be, I mean, I didn't hear too much about how Justin Herbert performed or what happened or whatever, but it's good signs. So really, the era, the 2026 season is officially underway for the Los Angeles Chargers since Justin Herbert has made his return. We got Darren James signed, Khalil Mack, he's making a return. So I mean, I like the fact that I think it was just like a couple of days after Joe Ortiz said that we are prioritizing Darren James' contract. What about Odell Beckham Jr.? I mean, are you saying are you asking me, do I think that Odell Beckham Jr. should be on the Chargers? Because if that's what you're asking me, No, I don't. I would not want Odell Beckham Jr. on the Chargers. We can do without him. Maybe he can go back to the Giants. I don't think. To be honest with you, I think I think it's safe to say Odell Beckham Jr.'s career is over with, in my opinion. And if it isn't, it should be. I'm kind of tired of like talking about Odell Beckham Jr. I'm kind of tired of hearing about him. He's done. He's done. I mean, he hasn't really played well since he won a Super Bowl with the Rams, and even with that, I mean, he was okay. No, I mean, it's like Keenan Allen. I know a lot of Chargers fans want Keenan Allen back. Man, if y'all go back to my videos, I speak very highly of Keenan Allen. I love Keenan Allen. I really do. Keenan Allen is one of the OGs of the Los Angeles Chargers. He is. I think he is the last Charger. I think him and Darren James are the last two Chargers from San Diego before they moved to LA. And Keenan Allen, he's been in the league a lot longer than Darren James. I think Keenan Allen came in the league, 2013, I think? And don't get me wrong, man. Keenan Allen should be in the Hall of Fame. I think Keenan Allen is a Hall of Famer. I think he is the greatest Chargers wide receiver ever. I do think that. And I do think he is probably. I used to be a little bit too biased saying he was the greatest route runner of all time. He's not the greatest route runner of all time, but he's definitely one of the greatest route running wide receivers of all time. You got to get that to Keenan Allen. But with all that being said, I just don't think that we should bring him back. I honestly think Keenan Allen's time in LA should be done. I mean, his last time that he was on the field when he was playing in the playoffs, it just kind of put a bad taste in my mouth of how he performed, how he didn't show up for Justin Herbert. Granted, don't get me wrong, I know the play calling was trash. I know Greg Roman was making everybody look bad, but I just kind of just think that, just even with that being said, Keenan Allen just kind of lost his step a little bit. I know in the regular season he played well for Justin Herbert. He showed up, especially on third downs. I just think it's time for just let Ladd McConkey take that over. I think Ladd McConkey can do everything that Keenan Allen can do, plus a little bit more. And at first, I didn't want to admit that, but I do think that Ladd. Recently, I had a change of heart about that. So, yeah. Don't get me wrong. If we do bring back Keenan, I won't be mad. Joe Ortiz did say that the doors is open for a Keenan Allen return. He's currently not on the team right now, and he's not on anybody else's team. I'm not saying no other team doesn't want to sign him, but they probably do. But they're probably going to bring him in for lesser money than what he wants. You know Keenan Allen likes his money, and I think the only team that Keenan Allen is willing to play for on a cheaper deal than what he thinks he's worth is the Los Angeles Chargers. So Keenan Allen, obviously, he wants to retire a Charger. I think he's made that clear. So who knows? I mean, who knows? I mean, I wouldn't be opposed if we bring him back. I wouldn't. But if I was a GM, I wouldn't bring him back. That's all I'm saying. And I know somebody else asked me about Jalen Hurts. I don't know what you want me to talk about Jalen Hurts. I mean, I can give you my thoughts, my opinions on Jalen Hurts. He's not a top 5 quarterback. I'll put him in my top 10. And if I think that he'll be great this year, I will say he better be good this year, because I think if he doesn't be good this year, I think this will be it for him. I think the Eagles will not bluff on drafting a quarterback, especially in next year's draft. That is extremely talented. This is one of the most talented drafts in a very, very long time. And especially the most talented quarterback drafts in a very, very long time. So if Jalen Hurts does not show up, I mean, he hasn't played well since, 2-3 years ago? So if he doesn't show up, it will be it for him. It will be it for him. I think so. And I think the Eagles are warning him about that. So Jalen Hurts, he better get his crap together. And it's going to be even more hard for Jalen Hurts to do that if they get rid of AJ Brown, which is more than likely looking like they are. AJ Brown is eligible for a trade June 1st. So where AJ Brown is going to go, everybody's saying the Patriots. I honestly think that's one of the worst places that AJ Brown can go. And the reason being is because I'm just not as big on Drake May as most people are. But at the same time, Drake May is a much better quarterback than Jalen Hurts. I will say that. So, oh yeah, somebody else asked me about Josh Allen. What do you want me to say about Josh Allen? Like, Josh Allen, I mean, I had so many takes on Josh Allen. I think Josh Allen is a really great quarterback, and he's definitely top 5. I think he's a tad bit overrated. I don't think he's better than Patrick Mahomes. I know some people try to make him say that he's better than Patrick Mahomes, but my thing with Josh Allen is that my thing about Josh Allen is that I think he gets too much of leeway. I think he doesn't get enough blame. I think a lot of his team gets more of the blame than he does when they come up short. I think there's a lot of excuses for Josh Allen, and that's what kind of irritates me about him. Like, I don't have anything against him. I think he's a great player. I think he's a better football player than he is a quarterback. And I always said that Josh Allen is a fullback that can pass. That's what I think of Josh Allen. So, but again, this is the year for him to really step it up. I mean, to really do something, because it's every single year the same old story with Josh Allen. Every single year, they play good. The Bills play all right. They win some games. They win more games than they lose. They lose a couple games that they're not supposed to lose. Then it's the Bills' fault. Oh, they don't never have anybody. And then they go to the playoffs. They win their wild card. And then they come up short in the divisional round. And then it's always the team's fault of why they came up short in the divisional round. It's the same story with Josh Allen over and over and over and over and over again. And that's what irritates me about him. That's what irritates me about you all and about the media who praises this guy. And you knock other quarterbacks when they come up short. But you always come up with excuses for guys like Josh Allen, and it's annoying. And that's why I'm going to do nothing about. And that's why I have no problem speaking with my mind when it comes to guys like Josh Allen, saying how overrated and how much of a pass he always gets. Because you all like to give him a pass, I'm not going to give him a pass. So, especially if you're going to disrespect my boy like Justin Herbert, say you criticize and you blame Justin Herbert for everything, all the shortcomings of what the Chargers do, and Justin Herbert evidently is put in a way worse situation than Josh Allen is collectively in his career. Josh Allen has had really great coaches. He has had really great offensive line. He has had really great offensive coordinators. Josh Allen has just been the person who has always came up short when time sometimes is needed for him to come up in the big games, bigger games, like divisional rounds and stuff like that, or trying to make it to the run to the Super Bowl. So he has been a turnover machine, not in the playoffs, but early on in his career. And so you always see again, what's going to happen is this year. Why do any of you think Josh Allen is going to bring the Bills to the Super Bowl in like anytime soon? He's not. I guarantee you, I'll put money on it. The Bills is not. It's going to be the same scenario with the Bills. They're going to lose in the divisional round. That's what's going to happen. They say that Bills got some good help from Josh Allen. They got Joe Brady as his coach now, and we saw how the owner threw him under the bus, threw the head coach under the bus, and threw the wide receiver under the bus, Keon Coleman under the bus, and just made it seem like Josh Allen didn't have anything to do with why the Bills lost their playoff game. Even though we see it on tape that Josh Allen was carrying the football like a loaf of bread and fumbled the ball and had a huge turnover in the playoffs. But that wasn't his fault. It had to be his coach's fault. So that's what irritates me about the story of Josh Allen. Like I want to like him because I like him as a player, but it bothers me when it's obvious that you all are so biased and you do everything you can to credit him for everything and discredit his team. So that's all I got to say, man. And that's all I have to say right now. I just wanted to jump on here and just update y'all on some stuff and keep that streak going because there's no days off on this channel. And I thank you all so much for watching. Like, comment, share, subscribe. If you want anything else, if you want me to talk about anything while I'm going to talk about what I talk about, please let me know in the chat. Message me, DM me. You can DM me at Dante Taviance or on my All Day channel on Instagram. And that's all I got. No days off. Deuces. Thank you so much.